Hi everyone, welcome to the Cinglés de MONT-VENTOUX by the online events company. My name is Rich. You see I'm React Stash on site. I am actually alongside being the co-founder of the online events company, I'm also the founder and head coach of React Fitness. But I'm just going to be leading you through for the first bit of the event. I hope you're all ready and you're getting your tech sorted and everything's running fine. Just a couple of quick points. Start off easy. If this is something you've not done before, that is of course, if you're feeling competitive, we do have a segment race right from pretty much right from the start. I think it's from about like 300 meters in or something, pretty much from the gun. So if you're feeling competitive, and you fancy your chances of being able to recover and go another 2 times, then yeah, we've got a segment race right from the gun up to the top of the SO route, up to the top of MONT-VENTOUX, so the whole of the first climb. And at React Fitness we're offering a free training plan to the first male and first female rider to the top of the first climb essentially. So yeah, up to you really. If you're not super confident in your ability, if you expect this event to take you to kind of the ends of your endurance, then perhaps take the first climb a little bit easy. But otherwise guys, just got about 2.5 minutes till we kick off. We do also have a couple of quizzes for you. So the descent, as you'll see, when it's kind of blue, that means it's kind of more than about -5%. So there'll be a lot of freewheeling, a lot of speeding up, very chilled, so a very long descent, but you will see there's a couple of little green patches in there. So yeah, we've got a couple of quizzes for you if you need a little bit of stimulation in that time. You can find those in the last email that was sent out, okay, for those that are joining us. Yeah, so have a crack at those. The first one is meant to be a lot easier than the second one. The second one's going to be pretty hard. I really kind of dug deep into the recesses of my cycling knowledge, trying to come up with questions for the second one. So yeah, if you fancy a bit of fun, I'm afraid there's no prizes, it's meant to be a bit of fun. Fancy a bit of fun in the sense there are quizzes for you. But yeah, just a little over 10 minutes to go. Hope everyone is able to join okay. There is a live, there is a Zoom meeting running concurrently with this, so if you fancy having a chat with us at any point, then please do so. The Zoom meeting details are again in that final email that was sent out. Okay, so come join us for a chat if you fancy it, and if you want to check in. I'm actually going to be riding this myself, or trying to at least. I have to admit my base fitness is not quite where it should be for something like this. I've been doing a lot of racing and a lot of kind of top end power work, etc. I'm predominantly a triathlete, so I've been doing a lot of that stuff as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Hey, looking forward to it. I've actually done this in real life and it is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I think if you're using this as a stepping board to doing it in real life, I'd really recommend it. Okay, it is great fun, it's a fantastic achievement, and it's tough, don't get me wrong. I think if you approach it with the requisite level of respect, it's pretty accessible, I would suggest. But yeah, really recommend checking out the real life version of this. And if you need somewhere to stay, we obviously have our partners at Sadists, and they're offering a bit of discount. So they're offering 5% off a stay at Sadists if you make it up the first ascent. If you make it up the second and third, they're going to offer 10%. I think I'm right in that. We will be playing a video as part of the live stream. We had a chat with them during the climbing workshop we did a couple of weeks ago now. Okay, we will be playing that video, and they are the experts on MONT-VENTOUX, regularly running trips up, doing the Les Cinglés in real life as well, running those trips, but they're regularly up scaling the mountain. Okay, so yeah, check them out, have a think about it, see how you get through this one. I've ridden not all of this, but I have ridden a fair bit of this previously on WahooRGT, and I can tell you it's pretty realistic. I think the things that you're missing are the crazy tour buses, which is a relief. Trust me, like on the descents, the tour buses, oh man, it's quite scary. So yeah, you don't have to deal with that this morning or this evening, wherever you are in the world. So just count yourself lucky. I think the beauty of doing this online is you can just step off at any point, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself some food, and that's my backfiring piece of advice, guys. You are going to have to fuel this. Okay, this is not something you can blag yourself your way through. It's hard, pretty much from the start. Okay, you're going to need to fuel it and keep up on top of your hydration. So hopefully you're nice and fueled already. Had a big breakfast, or dinner, depending on where you are, and just keep the fuel coming on board. So after the first 45 minutes to an hour, make sure you're keeping stuff coming on board. I think also being on a trainer, you can be a little bit more varied in what you eat. But there is, if you're interested, guys, and you're not super well prepared, there is a video on our YouTube channel where we did a chat with the guys at Total Endurance Nutrition, and that chat was in relation to the VWTTC, which we did a few weeks ago, but also a lot of the principles applies to this. It's still a long day in the office, and there's some fantastic nutrition advice there. So you've got the time, guys. Why not stick that on at some point? Head to our YouTube channel, find that chat with Total Endurance Nutrition. You can also find the chat we did with Sadists, which we will be playing on the stream. But yeah, I'll check that out. Some really great and free nutritional advice. Okay, so just about 7 minutes to go. I don't know why I'm working so hard. I feel like I'm running one of our live training sessions. I feel like I need to be working hard. I can tell you with absolute certainty I'm going to be taking this easy today. I will not be doing the segment race. I will be happily at the back and just trying to get through. As I said, my base fitness is not super high. So just see a few people are joining us. What are we doing? Quick shout out over Race Radio. We'll work with using that. And at the start, really. Let's just do a quick shout out over Race Radio as we come into the last 6.5 minutes before we start. Hi everyone. Hello to everyone on RGT. My name is Rich. We're running a live stream at the moment, so if you want to come join us, we've got various bits and bobs we're going to be chatting you through. The details for that, the links, etc., you can find on the event page on our website. Otherwise, guys, good luck. You've got 24 hours. There is a segment race right from the start, so if you're feeling competitive, go for it, guys. We are offering a free training plan to the first male and first female rider up the first ascent. But look after yourselves, make sure you stay fueled and hydrated, and come join us for a chat on the live stream, or there's a Zoom meeting. But best of luck, everyone. Hey, there we go. I'm knackered already. I haven't even started yet. But as I say, guys, I'll put my little coach's hat on now. Best advice, we talked about the fueling and hydration. Really recommend kind of getting that all sorted. I think also the beauty of doing a virtual event like that, like this is that if you're not particularly well organized right at the start, you know, you can take a little bit of time part way through. Just remember, everyone, if your avatar is stationary or you have 0 power input, or I think it's 20 minutes and above, more than 20 minutes, sorry, then you might get booted off. Okay, so just remember that, guys. So don't allow your pedals to stop turning for more than 20 minutes. I just keep it, I wouldn't take any risks. I like to keep it to 15 if you're taking a break. But that is the beauty of doing it virtually. You can just stop on the side of the road and get more fluids. I can assure you, there aren't, when you do this in real life, there really isn't really any place other than the top. There's not really any places to stop and get more food and fluids. There's Cafe Reynard, which that's 6 k's from the top. So you've already done the lion's share. So that's my first piece of advice. You know, take breaks if you need it. Keep the fueling and hydration coming on. Other piece of advice: if you're not racing the segment, then take it easy, build into it. The So route is what we're starting up to begin with. Okay, that is notionally the easier. It's still over 20 k's long, and as you can see, there's still plenty of red. Okay, we start off in a pretty red section, plus 4%. Then it levels out a little bit. You can see that sort of yellow and green sector sort of in the second third. And then you get to about 6 k's from the top, and that's where you hit Cafe Reynard, which is kind of like a staging post. Both the Bedouin, I think it's the Bedouin and the So route go via, actually they all go via Cafe Reynard, I think, don't they? So, yeah, that final 6 k's is pretty much the same. No, it's not. It's just 2 of the sides go via Cafe Reynard. So you'll do the same 6 k's, final 6 k's twice, and the last 6 k's is tough. Okay, you can see that's where all that red is on the final first ascent. It is rough. I made the mistake of doing this a couple of years ago. We didn't do Les Cinglés, but we just rode up VENTOUX, and I got very carried away. He found the first sort of, I know we were doing a slightly longer route, but the first 20 k's up until Cafe Reynard pretty easy. I was feeling confident. Decided to go for it in the last 6 k's, racing a French bloke, and yeah, didn't know. It was tough. There was a lot of ego involved and a lot of ego damaged. So yeah, take it easy on the first kind of if you're not racing. If you are racing, just bear in mind that final 6 k's you can either do a lot of damage either to your competitors or to yourself. So, and another thing, guys, before we just got 2 minutes to get started, for anyone that is perhaps lacking confidence, or perhaps hasn't got the greatest base fitness at the moment, just remember you can, if you're on a smart bike or a smart trainer, you can actually turn the feedback down. So at the moment I've got train difficulty up to 100%, so I want to feel those gradients, but I feel like at some point that may well be turned down. And what that will do is that will just make your trainer or your smart bike just simulate a perfectly flat slope. So you just need a brief reprieve. Yeah, you can always turn that down for a little bit till your legs come back in, and then turn it back up for that fully realistic experience. So it's 1 minute and 20 till we go. Oh, I'm quite nervous. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, I haven't done it, as I said, I haven't done a huge amount of base training, so I'm expecting this to be tough. And it starts quite tough from the start, albeit the So route that we're going up first is notionally the easier one. So if you've not watched it, when we did our climbing workshop a couple of weeks ago, we went through the course with the guys that said the Zorns, and that will give you a real in-depth look at each of the climbs. Just getting the route up now, so I can give you a little bit more info. But just 30 seconds till we get started. Good luck, everyone. Have a good ride. Look after yourselves and just have fun. That's what this is all about. Here we go then, 10 seconds. Let's pedal up. Here we go.
we go then. Oh, 6 watts per kilo off the start. Someone is feeling punchy. Here we go. So the segment starts in a couple hundred meters, and then we just crack straight on, essentially, all the way to the top if you're doing the segment race. I need to calm down. So here we are. So we're off onto the first time up the soap route. Let's get my rides up. And of course, Strava is not playing ball. So segment race, off we go. Obviously we've got some people definitely fancying themselves. Good for you, go for it guys. I'll try and keep a nice even pace. So in terms of an effort like this guys, you know, you're talking well over an hour I suggest of work, so just bear that in mind. You know, it's definitely not something you can just drive up at threshold the entire way unless you're an absolute monster. Okay, so manage your power. If you're kind of familiar with your training zones, you're probably talking sort of like a zone 3 effort. So, you know, kind of, I don't know, 80% of FTP, something like that. And that's the sort of power that you kind of want to look to aim for the vast majority of the climbing. You can always push harder, but I think it's always useful to have like a little mini target in your mind throughout, just to keep you from going too crazy. And in terms of your heart rate, my heart rate monitor is not working. Hasn't been for a while. I've given up on heart rate monitors. Yeah, but if you've got a heart rate monitor, just making sure that you're sub-threshold throughout, really. Because whenever you go above threshold, you're then going to have to, you know, work to recover and actively ease off, because it's a long day in the office. It's not the sort of thing that you can just sort of, you know, smash it and keep going. It's not that type of event. So be pretty disciplined with yourself. Just make sure that you're looking after yourselves. See my friend Graham just in front of me, teasing me. I desperately want to chase him, but I don't know if I could do both the live stream and the the race at the event as well. Just remember, guys, do you fancy having a little chat? You're very welcome. Come join us on Zoom. The details for that are in the final email that we sent out. Just locate that. We'll have a little chat. If you guys on already. Right, here we go, finally. My Strava wasn't playing ball. So the So route, if you're riding it from So itself, which is a town, it's about 24.5 k's long. All right, average gradient is 4.9%. Now, if you compare that to the Bedouin or Malasan route, which are the other routes we're doing, the Bedouin is 7.7, and then Malasan is average of 7.8%. Okay, so this is notionally the easier side. So I would take it nice and easy, get some, some beans in the bag, keep them, hold on to them, burn later in the event. And I think one thing to do whilst you're kind of riding is in the top right hand corner you'll see speed, and just keep an eye on that and just do some little calculations to work out kind of how long it's roughly going to take you. Okay, so you see this segment, it's about 2,000 meters, sorry, 20k, not 2,000, sorry. You can see where you are, and you can just work out roughly how long it's going to take you to do this. Okay. On the So route, so at the moment, what are we? We're 18 k's from the top. So we're grading to about 4.5% at the moment, pretty much on the lower slopes. But then at about sort of halfway, it then starts to ramp up, and that's where so yeah, we're 18. So yeah, 4.5 at the moment, and then it's going to ramp up in a short while. We're going to have sort of 6, 7%, 7.5% gradients for a little while. Okay, so you can kind of see it. There's a very red sector. You can kind of zoom in the bottom left-hand corner. There's a very red sector coming up. So just be mindful of that, everyone. Okay, gone off too hard. Feel it in a moment. Then you will have a little bit of recovery, sort of about 4, 5 k's later on, where you see that goes yellow and then green, and you'll be able to either put that power down kind of more confidently, knowing that you can manage it, or that's an opportunity to grab a little bit of a breather, essentially. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to play the video from our chat. We did a climbing workshop a couple of weeks ago, and we had a good old chat with the guys at Sedden's Orms. Just going to play that for you now, because that goes into the routes in a little bit more depth. This one is the full route. This is the beast, 102 kilometers of pretty much just climbing up and down, not much in the way of flat. Well, the way we're doing it, which I think when I spoke to Paul was not 100% the most accurate way, but when you're mapping a virtual route, you have to make certain accommodations. So we're going to go up the So route to begin with, which is the so-called easier side. Okay, but it's actually a bit longer than the others, but it's takes you up to Cape Reynard, and then you have that, I think it's about 6 k's to the top from there, and it just ramps up. This one is the full route. This is the beast, 102 kilometers of
pretty much just climbing up and down, not much in the way of flat. Well, the way we're doing it, which I think when I spoke to Paul is not the 100% the most accurate way, but when you're mapping a virtual route, you have to make certain accommodations. So we're going to go up the So route to begin with, which is the so-called easier side. Okay, but it's actually a bit longer than the others, but it's takes you up to Cape Reynard, and then you have that, I think it's about 6 Ks to the top from there, and it just ramps up and it's horrible. Then you've got a lovely descent down to Malacen. We're going to turn around, and then we go up the Malacen route, which, well, Paul and I were discussing this yesterday. Personally, I felt was the hardest one, but we did do Malacen last when we did it last, so I guess everything's going to feel like the hardest. But you've got some nasty 11% ramps on that, and then you send back down, all the way back down to a place called Bedouin, and then we're going to do what's known traditionally as the toughest climb back up. So finishing with the hardest one, and then you see the thing about Bedouin is that it starts off relatively easy. I think you've got about 4 Ks or so, 4, 5, 6 Ks or so of actually kind of quite steady gradients, and then it cranks right up. Anyway, I'm not the expert there. We're going to be talking to the experts very shortly, but that's just a quick run through of what Les Cinglés is about. There you are. You're now famous, guys. How you doing? You okay? Let me just
Good. Feeling a bit bad just sitting here drinking tea while you're working away.
Well, you've probably done this twice today, haven't you? Going up Cotswold or something?
It's for the first frosty day when we can't get out on the bikes here.
Yeah, I was chatting to...
Outside.
Sorry, Kate.
No, on the ground outside.
I don't feel too sorry for you guys, because I was chatting to Paul what you guys have been up to recently, and you don't have a tough life, so I'm not going to feel too bad for you that you had a little bit of frost. Paul was saying that you guys were doing... you couldn't go skiing because there wasn't enough snow because it was too nice, so you were forced to do the Rapper 500 or something like that.
Yep, that's about right.
Awful. How did you possibly cope with that? Yeah, so guys, this is Paul and Kate from the sadists. And one of the things I just wanted to do whilst we're having a little chat is just show you what you're dealing with when you're talking about sadists. So this is it. That's their house. If you can see it on my, let me just ping myself again. Those guys in Zoom. So this is what we're on about. That's one of the lakes where you go swimming. Probably a bit too much lake viewing for cyclists. But yeah, guys, you just want to tell us a little bit about you and sadists.
We've been here for 7 years now, and we absolutely love cycling and wanted to show people this amazing area, which is, apart from VENTOUX, the area around us is really unknown because most people head south of VENTOUX. So the col you're doing tonight, Col Saint-Jean, and then there's heaps of other cols around us. Little cols, tiny roads. The road you're going up, you rarely even see a car going on it. So it's just a really unsport area, which makes it perfect for cycling.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about your neck of the woods, isn't it? Like everyone, the big selling point is VENTOUX, but you've got some insane cols and climbs around you, don't you? And it's not just the cols; it's got pretty much any possible scenery you can imagine.
Exactly, yeah, and it's nice and varied. VENTOUX on one side, and then on the other side we've got the Alps, which is a completely different scenery altogether. So you can decide which way to go, or a bit further south, and it's more olive groves and a bit more rolling hills. So there's a nice you can go 3 ways and have completely different landscapes.
Yeah. Well, we are just looking at some images now of VENTOUX. Those riders in the front look like they're wearing React kit, but they actually weren't. But it's a very good shot. So I was hoping you guys would just tell us a little bit more about VENTOUX and your experience of it and how different the 3 climbs are.
They are they're completely different. So is the easiest one because it's the least amount of climbing. You start higher than the other 2 climbs. And actually the first is brilliant for a first time at VON2 if it is the first time you're going up, because the first 20k, almost you're surprised you've done it, and you've only got 6k to go, and then the last 6k it does ramp up and it gets a lot harder. I really like it because it's actually quite fun. There's some really fast rolling bits on that first 20k. It is the toughest one to do first because actually it's quite nice to have it as the last one when your legs are really tired.
It's great because it's one of the ones when quite a few guests come here and have read about VON2 and just put off about it, because we get quite a mix of guests here, and some of them just got no intention of climbing VON2, and at the end of the week we're saying, well, we reckon you can do it because it's 20k of 3-4%, and then you get to your 6k from the top when you hit Chalet Reynard, which is a shared finish with Bedouin, and from there you can see the top, and you've already done a good chunk of the climbing. And so a lot of people guess that some of our best days are actually going up that climb, because it's people who have no expectations of being able to do it, climb VON2, get up there, and they're able to share that last 6k with sort of the last other people going up, past the Tommy Simpson Memorial, famous landscape, lunar landscape, and then you're seeing those hairpins, the tower from about 3 hairpins back. It's just each one it gets closer and closer. But unfortunately, if you're doing the Cinglés, you've got to do it another 2 times.
It's the most accessible one, I'd say. Like, if you're doing all 3, just it'd be really tempting to totally go for it on that first one because it'll feel really easy. But I would recommend being careful on that first one, because you could easily burn all your energy out because it's only going to get harder.
Yeah,
it's a nice way to start the day, though, I think, because Rich, and when we did it, this is the way we started on the stow climb, and it is a nice way to start the day because you do get 20k of 3-4%, and it's a good warm up. Whereas at least you can enjoy the first one.
Yeah, I remember we when I did this last with you guys, I remember I was quite fit at the time, and I was a bit cocky. And we weren't doing the Cinglés, we were doing what's it called?
The Gorgeones?
Yes, Gorgeones. And I was getting a bit cocky, and I saw the final 6k, and I started pushing on, and that's the hardest part. And it was quickly apparent that I wasn't as fit as I thought I was, and I was trying to chase this French bloke who was just absolutely gassing me. That was a bit of a hit to the ego. It was good fun. So I second what you're saying about not going too hard on that first one up, because although you've got a nice long descent the other side, there's not much pedalling on it. So flushing out.
No, you don't.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So you've got nothing under the pedals basically.
And when you turn to come back up to do the next climb, your legs are completely dead because you've just spent.
Yeah.
Because you just got hill for.
Yeah, you basically have capping legs, don't you?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's different to a lot of the climbs in the UK, especially in sort of the north, or Devon way, where Kate's from, in the north where I'm from, where it's sort of steep, short, sharp climbs. In VON2 especially, it's just a long climb. Bedouin's 10%, gets up to 10%. Malisan's 11, a couple of kilometres of 11, 12%. It's you're in the saddle for a long time. So it's Kate's great at getting up there with guests, because you can't hold a conversation at the bottom, and you're going to be struggling at the top.
You actually, the Bedouin side, I really like the Bedouin side, mainly because loads of people pass you at the bottom, and it's pretty certain thing you're going to see them again in a few K, because I start out way too hard on that Bedouin side and just die within about 5K.
Well, that's it about Bedouin, isn't it? You move towards the first 4 or so Ks, and that pretty sort of manageable gradients, and then suddenly you're into 9, 10s and 11s pretty much for the rest of the time.
And it's really sustained, it doesn't change, and also, which doesn't affect you on your turbo, the scenery doesn't change. You're in a tunnel of trees, on a 9% climb, and you might as well be on a turbo trainer.
So it's actually great. This is actually great practice because, you know, we're at the moment.
Yeah, totally.
We rendered a course with, as you see at the top of my screen, with WahooRGT's Magic Roads. I think we do get a pretty generic scenery, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be too dissimilar.
It'll feel just like the real thing.
Yeah.
Head-to-hand side, anyway.
Yeah. Well, what about Malacent? Because that seems to be the side that not that many people know about, really.
Totally, and it's my favourite side in terms of views, and it's quite nice because the gradient is really varied, but there's some bits which are way tougher than the Bedouin side, but shorter sections, and then there's some bits which are slightly easier. Overall, I think even if you're doing them, I think it's the hardest climb of the three, but it's sort of the most rewarding, and it has great views looking north over the Alps. Normally see some snowy peaks.
It's certainly hardest 2 or 3k on VENTOUX. There's 2 or 3k when it's 11-12% continuously, and it's just long straight road. You just see it going on forever.
I think that's
And
this section here at about 12 k's or so up it. 12 to 14 k's is where it looks like it ramps.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
it does feel really. I think it even goes to 14%. Actually, it feels really brutal, that section.
Yeah, I remember that actually. I do remember. Is that when you go up to like, is there a junction?
Yeah, it's not that. It's before. It's a bit before
just
you hit the
before
ski
that,
station.
Yeah, no, I remember that now. So I remember that point where I was doing it with Paul. He was chatting to me, and that was the point. I was like, I didn't obviously didn't say anything. I was like, I'm not available for talking right now.
It's normally Paul who's not available for talking. So.
I think you go through phases, and it's just whether your phases line up with each other or not.
And they generally don't, though, do they?
Yeah, no, I found the Malacent side the hardest. So that's the one we'll be doing second for anyone joining us next weekend. Bedouin will be doing last, but you just look at that average gradient. I know it's not much, but it's coming out as just 0.1% higher, which over the course of 20 k's actually it will have a bit of an impact. That one. You can see that it's quite nice with the KOM on that on Bedouin. It's interesting.
I did the last time I did the Cinglés was with a 13-year-old kid, and because his dad was supposed to do it with him, but he broke his collarbone, so couldn't. And going up the Bedouin side, him and I talked non-stop the whole way up. And but then the Malacent side, we got a bit quieter, and by the time we were doing so, I don't think we said a word.
The gate is pretty unusual.
I think one of my kind of resounding memories. So I did the Cinglés with Paul like years and years ago, and then a couple of years ago we just did the So route and Gorge to Romanesque. And when we did the So route the second time, I just remember you just saw like everything. There was e-bikes, there was like elliptical trainer guys, there was hand cycles.
Yeah, totally.
It seemed to have gone nuts in terms of accessibility and popularity.
Tens of thousands of people do it, and even on the least likely days, you think there'd be a cyclist there. We ran a loop on VENTOUX on the 1st of January, around the top of it, and it was grim. It was thick fog, and it was freezing cold and really windy at the top. We said we're really glad we hadn't cycled it, because we have cycled it quite a few times round about New Year. But there was cyclists going up it. It doesn't any day of the year, no matter how grim it is. There's still cyclists on it. Apart from when there's physically so much snow, they can't.
Sometimes they shut the top, don't they?
Yeah, the top is shut from November to April time, especially the Malacent shut a bit later on than that.
Because there's a ski station and it's the north side, so the snow.
But yeah, you can normally duck under the barriers and get up as far as you can if there's no snow.
Well, I hopefully we haven't scared too many people, but that's just a little bit of a taste of what you're in store for. I think for anybody that is slightly nervous
looking at some of those gradients, just like a little reminder that one of the things you can do in RGT is you can actually turn your trainer feedback down. So if you're having a dark moment, you can always turn the resistance down and then just work off your own power. That's if you've got a smart trainer or a smart bike. You can turn the resistance right down, so it essentially simulates a perfectly flat gradient. So just remember that, guys, when you're doing it on Saturday. We will remind you, but if you're having a dark moment, you can make it a bit easier for yourself. We should probably let...
It's massively impressive. I'm impressed doing all of that. That's a long time.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
turning the legs with...
I don't know if you noticed, but last weekend we did the virtual world 24-hour time trials, and you know, literally people on their turbo for 24 hours. And we were chatting to a fair few of them as they went. I couldn't believe how chirpy they were. Like, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, we were sat behind a computer for 24 hours, and I was getting quite grumpy by the end. I won't lie to you. And these guys are super chirpy. It was amazing.
Yep. But amazing.
We should probably let you guys get, because they're obviously an hour ahead, so it's at least coming out to 8:30 for them. So we should probably let you guys crack on. But I understand you guys have got a bit of an offer for those doing their Cinglés at the weekend.
Totally, we're so impressed that anyone would do that on a turbo or on a trainer. That we're offering 10% if you make it up all three sides, but 5% if you make it at one side of VENTOUX, off a week's holiday with us, and then you can come and do it for real.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the perfect preparation for it, the weekend. And of course, guys, all the details for sadists are up on our website and links, etc. So you'll be able to check that out. I would really recommend it. Like, if I do.
We should have also said we're full into like testing lots of recipes, and food's a massive thing here as well. So if you like your food and cake every day when you come back from your bike ride, it's a lot of local, organic, amazing produce. Then it could also be a good place for you to go.
I can definitely give you a shout for the cake, and also the gardening tips. I remember last time I was there, you were teaching me how to garden essentially.
I've forgotten that.
But now we've got a garden, it's actually coming into use. I really like.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so guys, I'm all the details said as always, and up on our website. I really recommend checking it out. I'll just show you some of the images again. Like, it is just absolute cycling paradise. So I really recommend checking it out, guys. But we'll let you go have some dinner now, shall we?
Yes. Good luck, guys. Good luck, everyone.
Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate your time.
Cheers.
Cheers. Everyone, back. You can see it's somewhat less fresh than when I was doing that session. But thanks again to everyone, to the team at sadists. We're now about 7.5 Ks through, and thankfully coming back onto the live stream when the gradients have dropped slightly. So you can see we're in that yellow section now, around sort of 2-3%, much more to my taste, to be honest. But what I thought we'd do, let's have a little click through, see where everyone is, see how everyone is getting on. So we'll go up to the front, shall we, to be with. So you got the Razio Racing guys duking it out at the front, just absolutely marvelising things. Over 4 watts per kilo as they go into those steep sections around the corners. Yeah. I don't know, these guys are planning on doing the whole thing, but yeah, they're giving it some absolute welly. Hopefully getting a little bit of recovery on this sort of green section where it really flattens out. Yeah, good luck to you guys. And then what's that, about a kilometre or so, you got your Kainowski behind, about 1.5 kilometres behind. Then you got Siveche, apologies if I'm pronouncing anyone's name wrong. Then you got Jay Stevens, H. Treese, I believe, joined us for the 24-hour World Championships a couple of weeks ago. Well done. I think it's Harold. I think. Forgive me if I got your first name wrong. But thanks for joining us again. The Neugebauer, who I imagine is their race team. They're 8.5 Ks in. So a little way in front of Graham and I. Kodziski on his back wheel, again from Razio. Whole car is our next target. I believe we're about 250 metres behind. And we've got Graham, my mate from when I used to work over in Guernsey. We've done various sporties and rides together. M Hargreaves, yes, you can definitely catch up to us, I reckon. Big Hall Green at 7.5 Ks in, going very strong, 3 watts per kilo. That's a good effort, that. The Matre, I think chasing to try and catch up, 3.6 watts per kilo. That's mega, good. Got a big French contingent on today's event, which isn't unsurprising considering where we are in Provence. M Curry from Team Nebo Ridge, and then we've got Brian Welsh, who also joined us at the 24-hour World Champs a couple of weeks ago. Came and had a good chat with us on Zoom. Hopefully we'll be able to touch bases with him, see how he's getting on. I think he was ill a couple of weeks ago, wasn't able to kind of do the sort of efforts that he is used to, because he's a very experienced sort of ultra endurance cyclist. Kay Langer, just a little way behind Brian. They've got Chantal. Chantal is one of our React Racing's athletes. So we run a women's racing team, and they are absolutely crushing it at the moment. And Chantal is one of our 6 supported riders, doing an absolutely fantastic job. I believe at the moment in the London VR, the West London VR series, which is one of the big series on RGT. I think we're first, second, and third at the moment. And Chantal contributed massively to that. S. Welsh, I believe, I'm really sorry, I can't remember your first name. We had a lovely chat on Zoom a couple of weeks ago at 24-hour Worlds as well. Thanks very much for joining us. You are not far off Chantal. She's a good person to ride with. Very strong rider, very consistent, very much like a time trialing engine. So she'll go on it all day. So, and then I believe that's Lauren McLeod, Graham, my mate's partner, I believe. Another strong rider joining us for a little poodle. Thanks for joining us, Lauren. Hope you're well. Oh, Marion. Did you join us a couple weeks ago? Recognise that name. A Mirren, another one of our French contingent. And then we've got our VCN cams. So let's see if Graham's jumped me whilst I was talking. So we're now in this kind of flat section, about 11 Ks from the top. They're not far from being halfway. So it's pretty cruisy for the next sort of 4 kilometres, 5 kilometres, and then we get to that red section, which I think it's Mark. See, they're just getting onto it. So quick look at them. We're going the right way. Yeah. I think it's Mark. I can't remember Jay Shepherd's first name. But the Razio guys, they're now into that got a tough section after Cafe Reynard up to the top. So they are absolutely drilling it right now. 5 watts per kilo. I feel like there's sort of honour at stake on this. Picked out a bit of a gap, about 45 metres or so. So good luck to you guys. Let's get that. To Graham and I. And I'm hoping Graham and I will not be smashing each other to pieces. Okay. Just come out to halfway. And about 35 minutes in, then about 10 or 15 minutes, you're going to really want to start thinking about refueling. So starting to get things on board, particularly things that are easy to digest. So I've got my Morton gels, other brands are available. And then we've got, I can't remember what they're called, Lucho Delitos, I think they're called, something like that. Packets just out of eyesight. These are essentially kind of guava sugar. And I personally quite like those for a bigger hit of calories. Also really recommend homemade energy bars. Get things like oats soaked in honey with fruit and nuts, you know, stuff that your body is used to absorbing so that you don't have any gastro issues. But I suppose the benefit of being online and not halfway up the soap route in real life is you can just nip off to the toilet if you need to, but still you probably want to stay off the high fibre foods for now because they will affect you. Yeah, coming up to, we've got halfway up the climb now, I think that's it, halfway now. Graham's just driven on. Right, so we'll go into a bit of a holding pattern now, so you'll be pleased you won't have to hear too much more of me for a while, at least. Just keep cycling through, seeing how everyone is getting on. Okay, so just coming back, got Mark Rowbottom coming towards the top of the climb. Now don't be fooled by the segment race counter at the top, that's for me. I've still got a case to go, so the Mark is absolutely crushing it. I believe it's Mark, I'm sorry if I get the names wrong, apologies mate. Gepper's who's a little over half a K behind, so I think it's safe to say he's got this in the bag. He's coming up to the crest now. You can see on the top right, you can see on the top right the gradient. Now go is kind of that's where the summit is. So he's got a few more switchbacks to go, and then he's at the top. Nearly there. Keep going, mate. You know when you're on the top right hand, you can see that there's a crest. You know you're within kind of one last push of the top, and then you've got a lovely, lovely descent. Come back, whereabouts am I now? 34 Ks to go. We're in a pretty meaty section, 7%. I have to use all my gears. Back to the front. Must be nearly there now. I think maybe about 400 meters left, something like that. Or less. So at 9.5%, the real killer is getting to the top. You've got these little switchbacks as you go up to the mast. At the top, I believe it's a weather station. And then, if we are where we think, well, I think we are, there's a right turn as you go over the top, and you've got people standing in your way, tourists, people that have already finished. You have to really battle your way to get through, and when you are absolutely gassed, it's brutal. Fortunately, the guys don't have to deal with that. You can just go over the top and enjoy a lovely descent. So coming up to the end of the segment, it's fair to say, Mr. Rowbottom has got this one. So if he wants it, there's a free React training plan in the offer. Put 6.1 watts per kilo, final 20 meters of the Cinglés, suggesting his training. I suggest his training is going just fine. So well done, mate. Good effort. Just cresting the top now, and then you've got a lovely, lovely descent. Now a reminder for all of you guys, we do have quizzes that you can hit, and when I crest over the top, I'm going to run through the first quiz, but you can do it online. There's the links in the email that was sent out with the joining links towards the bottom of that email. Once I get to the top and on the descent, I will start running through that quiz. So, you know, if you don't really want to submit your answers, you can just have a little think. There you go, bit of advice from Mr. Rowbottom. Last 500 is a bit lumpy. I think we saw that with that sort of 9.5% effort right at the top. But lucky man, he's now onto a long, long descent. Okay, enjoy it. Make sure you keep your legs turning over a little bit so that RGT doesn't kick you off the server for being idle. But really well done, mate. Good job. So Shepherd's coming up to the top, not far behind. 15 minutes. I think from that, you just, if you zoom in, you see that 20-kilometre mark, and it's just a couple hundred metres after that. So well done, gents. Those are the guys from RGT Racing. 19K's about just about a kilometre to go for you, Heinowski, T-Bet J, couple K's, just a little over couple K's for Jay Stevens, H Trees, similar. Okay, we're all getting there. These guys have been locked in battle. Hey Krajewski, Eddie Neugebauer. Sorry if that's pronunciation's bad. And then, oh yeah, Graham's kicked away. Not having that. Trying to get back on it. Can't allow Graham to still hit the notional friend victory. Right, I think I've got to go back into holding mode again. So that I can breathe. But well done to the guys there at the top. We'll come back on when I get close to the top. And I'll run through that quiz as we go down the first descent. But keep going, everyone. You're doing a fantastic job. Keep pushing. Okay, into the final 400 meters now, and it's all getting very breathy. The gradients are really kicked up. Just been through a section of 11%. We're now at maybe 10, back up to near 11. Oh, this is tough. Last few hundred meters is rough, and this is what I meant by not going too crazy, because this is where it catches up with you. So 3 meters to go. Nearly there. Great. Pushing on hard. We just caught A. Krajewski and D. Nuigabara, but G. Matre is right on our heels, pushing very hard, over 4 watts per kilo. Some really big numbers. Right, last couple of 100 meters, couple of horrible switchbacks, then we're at the top. Okay, less than 80 meters. We're nearly there. Nearly at the top. So we've just got a segment, and I think it's another 100 meters or so to the very summit. 14.5, 15%. Okay. It's another. Less than 100 meters, then we're on the descent. Gosh, that last 3 Ks is tough, really tough. So about less than a minute behind H Streets, and about 5 behind T-Vet J and J Stevens. Oh, well done everyone, that's tough, really good stuff. A little cycle through, see where everyone is. Stu Matchrig, close on our heels, it's just coming up to the summit, well done. Keep it going. Then we've got A. Krajewski, D. Nuigabara. Yeah, really not far behind. Really well done. So G Matrig's overtaking them in the last couple of minutes, well done. J. Hal Green. You got just about a kilometre left. Keep pushing. Similar. M. Hargreaves and M. Curry, you guys haven't got far to go. Keep pushing. Say something for that last 300 metres. It is tough. Brian Welsh. Yeah, a couple of Ks. You're nearly there, mate. Keep it going. Hey, Ferron. Yeah, you got Brian just in your sights. Keep trying to latch onto that wheel. Descend together. Much easier to do the second climb if you're in a group. Okay, Lang, well done. From Team Lou, a well-known team on RGT. Well done. And then we've got Chantal, one of the React racers. Doing a fantastic job. About 3 Ks from the top now. You're getting right into that tough section. You're doing a fantastic job. Just keep it going. Elkar had a little pause and is back on now. Pumping in 3.5 watts per kilo. Mega effort. Well done. Lauren, not too far behind, a couple 100 meters behind. See if you can get to them by the top, and then you can descend with them and use each other, egg each other on the second descent. Well done, guys, keep it going. S. Welsh, not too far behind either. Hey, Miriam, hello, Marion. Really well done, guys. You're doing a fantastic job. Okay, it's a long day in the office for everybody. Just manage your efforts, keep your fueling and hydration coming on board. So, there we go. Mark. So Emerald Bottom is coming towards the bottom of the first descent, getting ready to take on climb number 2. Really well done, mate. Great nudge that. Let's come back. We're on the descent much further up, just spinning up. So just a quick reminder to everyone that's riding with us. Keep your legs turning over on the descent. Try not to leave the trainer idle for more than, I'd say, 15 minutes, because after 20 you'll get booted off. Okay. But otherwise, yeah, just spin up, recover, get the fluids on board, get some fueling. The sensor a really good opportunity to get some extra fueling on board. And what I'll also, whilst we're kind of on, what I thought we would do is just have a little run through the first quiz that people can do on the descent. So remember, you can find a link for the quiz on the final email that we sent out with all the joining links. So I'll start with question 1. We've got 2 quizzes, do the other one on the second descent. But if you fill this quiz out yourself, I'll give the answers to this quiz when we are sort of halfway up. Actually, no, I'll do it when we get over the top of the second climb, and then we'll go through the questions in the second quiz. But for this first one, it's just hopefully a little bit easier than the second one. The second one is pretty hard to try and make it. So the first question is, who won last year's Vuelta a España? Was it? It's open. Was it A, Richard Carapaz, B, Remco Evenepoel, or C, Primož Roglic? That's question 1. Who won last year's Vuelta a España? Carapaz, Evenepoel, or Roglic? Who do you reckon? Question number 2. Who was known as the Cannibal? Was it A, Eddie Merckx, B, Bernard Hinault, or C, Jan Ullrich? That's question 2. Who was known as the Cannibal? Question 3. Who won the first ever Women's Paris-Roubaix in 2020? Was it A, Marianne Vos, B, Elisa Longo Borghini, or C, Lizzie Deignan? Question number 4. So I will repeat these questions if anyone is following along and doesn't have the capacity to think that quickly. But I'll just run through the questions quickly and then we'll go through them again. So the question number 4, where is this year's Cyclocross World Championships being held? Okay, it's next week, actually, next weekend. Is it A, Hoogerheide, B, Zonhoven, or C, Dendermonde? It'll be a bit of a cyclocross geek to know that one, and I am. Okay, so that's question 4. Question 5, and now this is a good one. Okay, I reckon this is going to get a few people. In what year did Chris Froome win his first Grand Tour victory? Was it 2011, 2012, or 2013? Yeah, I reckon that one. I'll be interested to know if anyone knows the answer to that one. So that's question 5. In what year did Chris Froome win his first Grand Tour victory? 2011, 2012, or 2013? Number 6. Now, how many senior world championships has Marianne Vos had to her name across all disciplines? So, you know, if I remember what she's done. She's done mountain biking, she's done track, road, cyclocross, time trialing, yeah, all of it. How many senior world championships does she have to her name? That's question 6. There's 15 questions in all. 7. Who won the 1995 Tour of Flanders? And there's a jersey. So it's a. Let me open this up properly. So it's a Mapei jersey. Okay. So you'll need to go into the quiz to see that one. But anyone knows it's a really iconic jersey, very multicoloured, and the main sponsor is called Mapei. So who won the 1995 Tour of Flanders wearing that jersey? Is it A, Gianluca Bartolami, B, Johan Musso, or C, Tony Rominger? Okay, so we'll try and get an image of that up at some point, but it is on the quiz itself, so you can see that. So who won the 1995 Tour of Flanders wearing that crazy Mapei jersey that I think most people will be familiar with? Any cycling buffs? Okay, and the next one is another picture round. Which of the famous climbs that are shown will take you to the highest level above sea level? So the options are A, MONT-VENTOUX, B. Alpe d'Huez, C. Col de Tourmalet, or D. Stelvio Pass? That's an interesting one. Again, I'd be interested to see if anyone actually knows that, or probably more likely puts in a really good guess. So yeah, which of the famous climbs will take you to the highest point above sea level? Ventoux, Alpe d'Huez with its 21 switchbacks, Col de Tourmalet, which is in the Pyrenees, or the Stelvio Pass, which I believe is that Alps? I think that's in the Alps. It's Italian side of the Alps, I think. Stelvio. Stelvio is another course available as a real world on WahooRGT, so that's the FYI. So if you're not done with the climbing today, you can always go and do that afterwards. Okay. So that's question 8, which of those famous climbs take you takes you to the highest point above sea level? Yeah, I'm interested to see who gets that one. This one, I think probably a bit easier now. Who is the current men's world hour record holder? So that's question 9. And the options are Victor Campenaerts, Daniel Bigham, or Filippo Ganna. So who is the current men's world hour record holder? Victor Campenaerts, Daniel Bigham, or Filippo Ganna? To be interested to know. This isn't actually a question, but if anyone knows who the current women's hour record holder is. So that's 9. Number 10. For which team does Annemiek van Vleuten ride for? So probably next to Marianne Vos, argument to be the greatest of all time in terms of female riders. She's probably the most, I don't know, Marianne Vos, she's pretty incredible across multiple disciplines. But Annemiek van Vleuten, you know, she can sprint, she can climb, she does GC, she does everything. So that's question 10. Which team does she ride for? Is it Trek Segafredo, Jumbo Visma, or Movistar? So which team does Annemiek van Vleuten ride for? Trek Segafredo, Jumbo Visma, or Movistar? So that's question 10. Number 11. Again, it's a picture round. So you need to go on to the quiz. When I show this, when we come around again, I'll show you the images. But it's of a famous chapel on top of a mound. And the question is, which famous Tour de France climb is that? The chapel on the top of the mound. Is it the Koppenberg, the Muur van Geraardsbergen, or the Paterberg? Yeah, you have to look at the image for that. I'll make sure we've got an image of it, and then we'll go with this again. The which Tour de France climb is that? Top of the Koppenberg, Muur van Geraardsbergen, or the Paterberg. The image of the chapel on top. That's 11. A couple more to go. And this is a good one. I learned this one recently, actually. At which pro race does the winner receive a piglet as a prize? Give you a clue, it is in Spain. Actually, is it? No, it's not. That's not in Spain. Or is it in Spain? Yeah, it might be in Spain. Anyway, got some options. You'll figure it out or not. Which pro race does the winner receive a piglet as a prize? Clásica de San Sebastián. That's a great race. Tour of Andalusia, or Trobro Leon. Again, I can't remember. Spain or France? Anyway, Clásica de San Sebastián, Tour of Andalusia, or Trobro Leon. All three of those races are really cool, anyway, so worth watching when they come round. Just a few more. Number 13. Who is the current men's cyclocross world champion? 3 obvious options: Mathieu van der Poel, Wout van Aert, or Tom Pidcock. Who is the current men's cyclocross world champion? Van der Poel, Van Aert, or Pidcock? That's 13. Number 14. Where will this year's track cycling world championships take place? I didn't know this. I don't think they're too far away either. Is it the Sir Chris Hoy Velodrome in Glasgow? Is it the Velodromo, my Spanish is not good, Velodromo Alcides Nieto Patino in Colombia? I think that's one that's super high altitude. You get crazy climbs there. Or the Velodrome in Berlin. So where is this year's track cycling world championships taking place? The Sir Chris Hoy Velodrome in Glasgow, Velodromo Alcides Nieto Patino in Colombia, or Velodrome in Berlin. Last question then. 15. Now, how many riders have been able to win 3 monuments in a single year? It's incredibly tough to do. Now, the number isn't large. So how many riders have been able to win 3 monuments in a single year? Is it 1, 3, or 4? How many riders have been able to win 3 monuments in a single year? 1, 3, or 4? Okay, so that's our little quiz. That's available from the link, one of the links in the email that was sent through before the event. Let's wrap through those questions very quickly. Again, number 1, who won last year's Vuelta a España? Carapaz, Evenepoel, Roglic. Who's known as the Cannonball? Merckx, Kino, or Ulrich? Who won the first ever Women's Paris-Roubaix in 2020? Voss, Longo, Borghini, or Dignan? Where is this year's Cyclocross World Championships being held? Hoogerheide, Zonhoven, or Dendermonde? And in what year did Chris Froome win his first Grand Tour victory? 2011, 12, or 13? Number 6, how many senior world championship titles does Marianne Vos have to her name across all disciplines? Is it 13, 5, or 8? Who won the 1995 Tour of Flanders wearing the Mapei jersey? Gianluca Bortolami, Jean Musso, or Tony Rominga? And then which famous climbs take you above the highest point above sea level? Out of the options, so it's Ventoux, Alpe d'Huez, Col de Tourmalet, or Stelvio Pass. Number 9 was, who is the current men's world hour record holder? Is it Campenaerts, Bigham, or Ghana? 10 was, which team does Annemiek van Vleuten ride for? Trek Segafredo, Jumbo Visma, or Movistar? 11, at the summit of Tour of Flanders is the famous chapel. Is it Koppenberg, Morvangar-Arsbergen, or the Paterberg? Number 12, at which pro race does the winner receive a piglet as a prize? Clasca de San Sebastian, Tour of Andalusia, or Trobro-Leon? Number 13, who is the current men's cyclocross world champion? Van der Poel, Van Aert, or Pidcock? Number 14, where will this year's track cycling world championships take place? The Circus Boy Velodrome, Velodrome Alcides Nieto Piantino in Colombia, or Velodrome in Berlin? That is the name of it. I'm not just being lazy. It's called Velodrome. And then finally, how many riders have been able to win 3 monuments in a single year? 1, 3, or 4? There we go. That's the quiz. Coming towards the bottom of the descent, you'll notice I undid my shoes pretty much completely just to let blood back into my balls and my feet. So I really recommend you do that, guys. You can see quite a few of you are now coming to the top. There you got Chantel, Elang, Baron Delcar. Ryan's just gone over the top by looks things, so is M. Hargreaves. Okay. Ryan's pretty close to the top. So yeah, those who have gone over or are close to going over to the top, just loosen your shoes off once you go over. Just allow some of the blood to get back into your feet. Take some of that kind of aching out of your feet. There you go, that's the quiz, guys, available from the link in these that we circulated, in the email that we circulated. And the second quiz I'll run through on the second descent. Also, I'll give you the answers to the first quiz once we get over the top of the next descent. Not got long though, and you see I've just passed Mark, who's going back up the other side. So we are now going down to we're down to Bedwan next, I think, aren't we? Annoyingly, Strava isn't letting me back onto the route. It's only giving me about 10 of my routes. I can tell you I have probably about 100 kind of routes saved on, so that's highly irritating. But well done, guys, you're doing a fantastic job. Enjoy your descent if you're on it. Get the food on board, the fluids on board, and that's what I need to do. So I'm going to duck off again. Look after yourselves. back on in a short wee while.
Next level. Next level.
Right, back again. So just a quick little heads up, we're going to be moving on to a new stream shortly in a few minutes time. For those guys on Zoom, don't worry, you don't need to do anything. For those watching the live stream, we're going to shift over onto a new stream, so all you'll need to do is just stay on our channel and a new stream will come up and will be led by Riley, who's joining us. But before we do that, just do a quick little run through as to where everyone is really. So where am I? 50k's in, so not too far away from halfway up the second climb, and it is noticeably tougher. Okay, second climb is noticeably tougher. My legs are certainly feeling it, and this is where, if you haven't been on top of your cooling and hydration, you're going to really start to feel it. So make sure you've got plenty going on. Being chased by three guys, Graham, Hey Krajewski, and Dean Noigabara, and then you got Dean Matray a little way back, who's pumping in some serious watts, and I have a feeling we'll certainly catch us at some point. And then if we look ahead, the guys ahead absolutely smashing it. So H3's has kicked on about 150 metres ahead of us, with our little group. We're actually getting on the descent. Jay Stevens, a bit further up, 51, 2k behind, just in behind Vet J. Both you guys, massive job. 3.7 watts per kilo, someone's on the charge. And then E. Heinowski, a couple of k's up the road from them, 3.6 watts per kilo, another absolute weapon. Jay Shepherd's, he's about 400 metres behind them road bottom. Those guys are really kind of leading the charge. Heinowski's only a couple hundred metres behind though. Interesting to see if he joins up Shepherd's. They can push on, catch up. Mr. Rowbottom, who's thundered his way through this. So well done everybody. You see, we're going to move on to a new live stream. So all you really need to do is refresh, browse on our channel. So just, and then a new live stream will be open very shortly. And you carry on following the action, and will be led by Riley. So I'll sign off this live stream, and we'll move on to the next one with the guys on Zoom. You don't need to do anything. But keep on going, guys. Excellent stuff. Really well done.